Thank you, Lynn. Thanks, Glenn. Can everybody hear me? If I can get a confirmation, then I can start talking. All right. Thank you, Glenn. I want to start today with a reading from the clarification of terms. It's going to be kind of what I'm talking about, the first two paragraphs, true perception, knowledge, and this is from chapter 4. The world you see is an illusion of a world. God did not create it, for what he creates must be eternal as himself. Yet there is nothing in the world you see that will endure forever. Some things will last in time a little longer than others, but the time will come when all things visible will have an end. The body's eyes are therefore not the means by which the real world can be seen. For the illusions that they look upon must lead to more illusions of reality. And so they do. For everything they see not only will not last, but lends itself to thoughts of sin and guilt. While everything that God created is forever without sin, and therefore is forever without guilt. Now, I must have read something like this in the course probably a million times, like probably everybody else here, that this world is an illusion, and what we're seeing is an illusion, um, and um, and on and on. But and I thought that I really understood it. I had a grasp of it. I can look around me and say, "Oh, this guy's an illusion. This TV's an illusion. This and that is an illusion," and and that's it. But I got a really big wake up call uh, last last week when I really got it from a more real perspective what this actually really means to me. I know that in my life I've always believed that my eyes, whatever my eyes saw was the truth. From when I was a little kid, I saw my parents and saw friends and saw the house, the trees in the backyard and all of that. And it was real. Everything my parents told me, it was all real. I remember, asking my mom, what is concrete made? And then she tried to tell me, and I go, well, what's that made of? One of those kids things. Oh, rocks. Well, what are rocks made of? That whole story. Um, but I, as I remember, as far back as I can, that is about as real as I get. I had no concept that I am making this reality up as I go, that I'm defining what I'm seeing through my sense of separation, and that was the veil that that I was seeing everything through. And I'll dig into that a little bit more. And so when it came to people, my function for people when I saw a person would be trying to figure them out. So I could be in a safe place with them, or not be in a safe place, and so I know whether to avoid them or not, or do I want to see myself with them? Would I be in a approved in any social situation or relationships being seen with this person, or would it enhance my relationships with people, if I was seen with them, um, and then also how would they react to me and then in this sense, I would have to try to figure out what they were thinking, what their impressions of the world were. And then that's how I would try to interact with them by what I believe that they were thinking about me to the best of, my ability. And this not only took place in just trying to figure out what they're thinking, but my ego came on into a whole judgment of even the people that I were not even interacting with. I would see someone walking down the street that was a certain height with a certain look on their hair or those just those kind of factors and my ego would give me a whole automatic profile of what this person supposedly is. If I see someone that's short, then I would have the ego would give me a profile about what this guy's life might be like, if he's sad or if he's happy, or this must be what he's struggling with, or let's say the clothes that a person is wearing. This person must be really cares about what people think because of this is what the kind of clothes he's wearing, or this person doesn't have a lot of money. Um, you know, Even if I just would glance at someone for a split second, the ego would just deliver a character profile just like that, and depending on that profile, I would do a double take and then try to absorb what this person was to me, or try to figure out that person, or stay in a place of judgment to this person, whether so I can in some way be better than that person, in some way condemn that person, or or do I want something that person has? Do I ridicule that person for this? And so, even I see someone I don't know or whatever, I can and I could sit there and stop and then try to experience this, how I am better than this person, or how I'm threatened by this person, or how this person is so not acceptable to me, or how this person is trying to fit in and it's so obvious, and I mean just on and on and on. And so the the ego uh, would really just deliver a a picture and definition of people in my life. So I automatically had a judgment of them, a prejudice, obviously, a prejudice that I've seen, so many examples of people that are prejudiced against other races and or other cultures and other sexes and gays, lesbian, and everything like that. And I would look at that and I'd say, man, that is just like ridiculous. Can't they see that we're all one, that we're all sons and daughters of Christ, and to me that was just as obvious as it could be. But then I'm looking at the way that my ego has been functioning, and I'm not going to say how I have been functioning because I want to identify with the I that is the Christ, the truth in me. It's hard for me to say that I I did that um, because that's not the truth of who I am. So I'm gonna stick with saying it's my ego that is doing this because uh, because it's not really me. It's a part that believes in the separation. So um, so anyway, so that's a part that's starting to kind of come into my life and kind of shaking it up as far as I thought I was better than that um, in the form of prejudice. I mean, I could say that I can talk to black people, I can talk to gay guys, I can talk to pretty much anybody and hug them, welcome them, and even welcome into my home or even in relationships. I've had black relationships with every race that there is. Every size, every shape. So and in my mind I was going, oh, I don't have any kind of prejudice. I accept everybody and for who they are and all that. And what's really catching me is I don't. You know, I when I see someone, there's a whole judgment thing going on with me as to who they are, what they're like. I mean, even I would say it's even more judgmental than the outright racist like a Donald Trump or something. You know what I mean? It's like I am judging the person right down to the core of defining this person um, from his identity as his worth, really, or that person's worth, by my Eagles just does that. So it that kind of really has kind of like, okay, I need to kind of look at this. And so as I'm looking at this, and I remember one thing that had really made an impact on me with the course is that the thoughts do not leave their source, ideas do not leave their source. So everything, all the judgments that I have been having about people are all going on inside my brain, and none of it is true about anyone at all that I have been judging. I mean, yeah, the person might be short, but all of the significance I put into, okay, what does short mean? Or the person could be old. When my ego sees something old, there's a whole significance and meaning and value and all that goes into that look. Um, so. Um, anyways, all of that significance that I have been giving to the world out there really is not true. It doesn't mean anything that is fact. All it is a perception of my beliefs about myself. And the ego, what I know about the ego, and I was going to say my ego, it's not my ego, it's separate, a sense of separation, is that it wants to survive. It is the survival mechanism for the body. It is the sense that the body is real and the body is who I am, and so the body's got to survive. If my body does not survive, then I quit existing. That is the sense of separation that I was born into, and everybody's been born into, and that's what the ego, and that is what the ego is. And so the purpose that I look out into this world and how I define the whole world and everything is for the what my ego thinks is going to help me survive in every way, in a supposedly in a emotional way that's going to make me think that I'm able, or I'm right, or I'm strong and they're weak, or all of it is all comparisons, and then it's a matter of justifying myself as being separate, but also having I don't know, maybe not. I'm almost trying to say the victim of the world, or of the world that I see, but it is I think maybe what I'm looking for is the guilt, that I'm guiltless. The ego tries to make it seem that I am guiltless, and hides that guilt. And so anyway, so now that I'm here at this step, that ideas do not leave their source. And so now I'm thinking back, or even thinking about people that I'm involved with, and relationships that I have now with people that I have interactions. I don't want to say just conflicts with, but interactions, because I have some really good interactions, and some other more challenging interactions. And I'm realizing that these interactions that I'm having, the type of interactions that I'm having, especially if they're like a conflicted interaction that I'm having, has a lot to do with the judgment that I'm putting on the other person, or my expectations I'm putting on the other person. The the qualities, attributes that I put into this person as to what I believe that they should be, what I believe that they are, and I guess what it really works out to be is what I believe how they're best they're gonna serve me. And so I look at that as I'm giving them, the people in my life, I'm giving them a role. And all of this is really kind of an unconscious, sneaky thing, because I really didn't. It's not a conscious thing where I say, okay, you know what I mean. I want this person to be this for me and all that, you know what I mean? And voila, you know, and then I expect that from him. It's not doesn't happen to me like that at all. It is a role that my ego sees and sees that person, and boom, just like it does with anybody else that's walking down the street, it goes boom and throws a, you know, throws a like I said, a personality evaluation on them, you know, that boom, that's what that person's role is in your survival, and boom, gives it to me, you know. And so the people around me, of course, it's gonna focus a little bit more on them because they are directly involved with me and have something to do with immediately how I'm going to experience my life for that day or that week or whatever. And for an example would be my job. I still have a job, so I look at my boss in sometimes I'm getting a lot better at it. Sometimes as that, you know, he needs to do a couple things better, you know, to help this company survive because, you know, I kind of believe I need this job, you know, and what he's doing is not the right way to do things around here. You know, he should be doing this and he should be doing that and on and on. And then I do take that personal and I do take it to heart. Like he is less than. He is willingly not doing his best. He should be doing better. So he's willingly not doing his best. He is deliberately not paying attention to what I think he should be paying attention to as far as the business and how to run it and how to take care of it. He's deliberately ignoring things that I'm telling him. And so I take it, I get that, and I take it that ways where this person here is is that should be doing all these things, and the reason he should be doing all of these things is because I invented this person. I invented my boss with all of these, I get business qualities, or he's supposed to be a genius in accounting, business affairs, and how to spend money, money management, and manpower management and negotiations and how to handle people and all that. You know, anybody I'm going to work for has got to have all those qualities so I can be safe. So I can live a comfortable life or not going to be threatened and all that, you know, and the guy's a young kid. He's got a good heart and all that, but I it drives my ego nuts of how the business is being how the business is being ran because I made up all of that stuff about what that person should be, you know, and let's say in my relationships with my special relationships, especially those are the ones that really I look back on them and it looks like how insane I was, you know, like if she were going to go, let's say, you know, go do something with her friends or whatever, then I would automatically make this story up about her that she's going to go out with her friends because she doesn't want to be with me. There's something wrong with me, and so all of that kind of stuff would just build up, and then me just investing or endowing her with these qualities that I just made up for her, and then when I see her, then I start fighting with her because I believe what I think about her. So the craziness I see is I'm arguing and fighting with what I made up. So I'm fighting with myself in some kind of crazy ass way. You know, I make up this story that she don't want to be with me, and then I start fighting with her and saying that, yeah, you don't want to be with me. So I'm over there fighting with my own ideas, if that makes any kind of sense. It's like crazy, you know what I mean? I'm creating um, my own crazy ass conflicted world outside of me with people that probably really genuinely, care for me. In relationships in the past, I didn't believe anybody could really care or love me. And so I've been involved with relationships when they would tell me this and they would do something like that, and I wouldn't believe them. But they're lying. They want something from me. Um, they're full of it, and then that would make me mad. Like, what are you lying about? What are you lying for? I'm not stupid. I know what you're doing. It's just that illusionary thing that I endowed these people with these attributes, these crazy, insane, harsh, unreal, mean, unkind attributes to these people, and that's the way I would treat them. I would treat people that way. I would treat special relationships that way, and I guess that's probably the part that's really kind of like grabbing my attention right now is, you know, and I can still say that, at work at sometimes I still look at people and treat them that way. There's one guy that, he tries my patience all the time, and so I've already believe or my ego already labeled him and all this stuff, and sometimes he comes in and just wants to talk, and I gotta slap myself in the face and say, shh, shh, shh. Is this person's the image and likeness. Forget about the stories that you made up about him and about everybody. You're creating this scenario, this reality, and then sometimes he's these people are just exactly the same way every single day, and some days I have a good day and some days I have a bad day, but these people are the same. I have a good day when I look at them and realize them and treat them as they are, as a child of God, as you know with respect, as a you know as a part of God, as a individualization of the of love. And when I can do that and I can relax, and the stuff that they talk about just goes in one ear and out the other, and it doesn't trigger me. But sometimes when I'm triggered, then I am living that story that I made up uh, about them, that story that I have to protect. Like, I have something to protect, my identity that I have to protect, or my righteousness has got to protect, or I've got to be right, and things got to be done my way or else, and I sit there thinking about, why is that so? Why can't I just say, what, man, that's, you've got a good idea, and just go ahead and do it. Sometimes I catch myself and saying, well, what difference does it make if it's done this way or if it's done that way? Why, my ego just has this, I guess it's just it's a habit. It's a habit that's built into me that this is the way that things have got to be, and that's the ways, specialness is shown to me. If people do it my way, then I get to live my specialness, because that is what's important to me, and the specialness is going to give me life and help me survive. and everything. So anyways, in short, that is what I have am coming up against right now. Something. Everybody. How many times like I said in the beginning, we heard, oh yeah, this is all an illusion. We make up you know, what we see and all of that. But you know, um, this is this for me. This is a real wake up call for me because the things that are happening are happening at uh, a real level. A a a level that is active right now. The way that I'm living. Like I said before, I really believed that I had that all together, the whole prejudice thing all dialed in and put together. But holy smokes, man, not even. So I would like to move more into since I hopefully I explained the you know I don't want to say problem. Maybe this is where I'm at on my path, is that I really have got a deeper understanding for what this means and how it functions in my life. That the only truth that there is about anyone or anything is the truth that is related to God, the truth that is related to love, the identification that is consistent and true for everybody. Not only everybody, but everything. Everything has the same intelligence and order in it and as it from the same source. It's all it's all that oneness. And that is true no matter who you are, what faith you are, what race you are, what dimension you are. If you're you say we got like, I don't know, 13 dimensions or something like that, and what's going to happen if, the aliens come, or who knows, it's still all the same source. It's all one creator, all one God, and if it's all one God, it's all love and it's all one purpose. Anyway, that's my UFO spiel for the night. My alien, my alien spiel for the night. Um, so, anyways, in moving into solution, and then the course is really big on this part of the solution, which is forgiveness. And there's a line in it that says forgiveness, salvation, atonement, true perception are all one. And and I read a little bit about forgiveness, and I'm still kind of wondering that forgiveness to the course really does not mean forgiveness in the like a pardon in any kind of way. It's just like a miracle, a change of perception. And that's what had, when I started the course, that's what was throwing me off. And I think it still throws people off when they say it's forgiveness. It's like if I forgive a something happened to me in the past or something like that, it's like that isn't even what forgiveness is. It's just forgiveness is looking at it in truth in God. So there really is no such thing as forgiveness when you look at that. You don't forgive anybody. You just see something in the truthful light, in the truth of God. If there's anybody, for me, for anybody to forgive, it's me for going there. It's me being responsible for allowing myself to go into ego thinking. And even then, I'm just doing the best I can with what I know. So there really isn't even a need for me to forgive myself for that. But sometimes I need to do it so I can just kick that guilt out of my system so I can move on to bigger and better things. But um, as I'm working on the solution, and I've already touched on this a little bit, is when I was in the Pathways of Lights classes, they have a thing called Christ Vision, and it is basically just self-explanatory what the term is. It is seeing through the eyes of a Christ, and that really does not have a whole lot to do with seeing as in the vision of opening your eyes and seeing what's outside of yourself, like I have been doing for my whole life. Not that I'm not doing it now, but I am understanding what I am seeing differently. My beliefs about my vision is seeing is has a different significance than before, because what I'm seeing, I am what I'm understanding is I am seeing what constitutes the vision, or what constitutes everything that I'm seeing, which is the spiritual reality behind everything. And everything that I see is exists as as intelligence and order. You know, everything is made of these atoms, and this atom is attracted to that atom, and it makes a molecule, and all of that is done in an intelligent way, and in an orderly way where they build up and build up and build up, and voila, you got plants, and we got people and all that. And then even within the me as a person, you know, my body acts all intelligently in terms of I eat an apple and it gets digested, everything goes into the right nourishment, goes and gets digested for me and goes to the right places, and what doesn't serve me comes out, and that is the that is, I don't, when I see a body, I don't, well, I'm trying. I can't say that I see it, but this is what I'm working on. I'm doing the mind training, doing the mind training. So I see that spiritual aspect. I move towards seeing the that intelligence, that order, and that purpose, and that beauty, and that wonder, and that love, which is recognizing all that is that me. It's extending my understanding as the Christ to all I see, and especially people, extending that Christ vision, that identity of Christ in all I see. And if um, it's me seeing myself in you, it is like my dogs. I got one guy. His name is Skinny Boy, and he's probably 9 years old. And then I got Milagros, which is miracles in Spanish. She's a little over a year old. And she'll sit down in front of me and just look me right in the eyes, and just with that innocence. And I look at her right in the eyes, and I can see that Christ vision in her. What I see in her eyes, that innocence, but I see life. It's like the whole essence of life. We have we're both in that presence of life. We're enjoying that presence of life by looking at each other's eyes. It's like we're both saying, hey, we're alive. Here we are. We got these bodies. We are life. We are life itself. So let's enjoy it, you know. And that to me, in being in that presence, is is love. Is that unconditioned awareness that she doesn't have to be anything or do anything or all of that, and that is the way I would like my thinking to be, instead of judging everybody and having my ego define everyone and because of this and that and all that jazz. It'd be really nice to get rid of the conditions, but anyways, we're doing the mind training. Um, let's see what else. Oh, and I did kind of like jot this down. I have a couple things that I jot down, and one of them is that the to see to help me see the person in right vision, in Christ vision. What I realize is the absolute highest intelligence, which is absolute order, absolute intelligence, absolute God, absolute highest supreme knowledge, is determines that all that are here right now is necessary for that perfection of God to exist. So if that's true, who am I? Who am I to have any kind of judgment over anybody or anything? Like, who am I to say that the all the illegals should go back to wherever they are, or whatever, that kind of thing. It's the highest intelligence that there is. It would not be what it is if I was not here and the people around me were not here. If everybody listening and how they're listening to me right now it's all perfect. It's all the highest. It's all in integrity. It's all in the highest integrity because it's no matter where anyone is at, that's the best you can do with what you got. That's as simple as that. And so that is 100% in integrity. And it's my judgment that makes it not. I say, no, no, you know what? I could be doing better. No, I should have done this, should have done that. That's the ego second guessing because if I could have done better, I would have. You know. So, um, well, and in sticking with the solution, um, one of the things that I would like to um, start doing is and help me to realize the judgment, when I am judging inappropriately or whatever, is that um, and this is pretty much is just like I don't want to say it's a gimmick, but it's a tool, a tool to just help me get back on track is if I judge someone in any kind of way, I don't know what kind of experience this person has had to be living and dealing with separation the way he is, because that is basically what all of us are doing. We are trying to deal with this sense of separation that all of us have. And so we all deal with it in different ways. and through my life, I've dealt with it in a lot of different ways. Um, and so, when I see people that are in their path in different phases of their path, and they're doing things that I used to do, I can't sit there and I can't judge that because I was there, and this person is at a certain part of his path, or if a person is big, I can't judge you know why that person eats the way he does, and the guy on the street that's drinking. I can't judge why the guy drinks, or the guys that are taking the drugs, or the guys that are locked up that have to steal, or all of that. It's all a matter of getting something to ease the sense of separation the best way they know how. And I can't explain why I stumbled on to the course. I don't think there is a chosen one. I think everybody is equal in all ways, and I think that is the only way that God can be. But I just can't judge that, because maybe these people that are drunk or whatever, they're on a more higher path than I am, and they're doing something I don't even understand with their lives, and putting them even on a more progressive path. So I can't even say that, you know, um, me being a course student and all that, and is doing anything that, more worthy, or whatever, than anyone else. I don't even know. I really don't even know in the whole scheme of things. And so who am I to judge, and who am I to endow anyone with whatever qualities that I think that's fit for them, you know. And so, one of the other things that I have written down here. It looks like I'm running out of time, so I'll get in with what I can. Is when I catch myself judging someone, let's say like my boss, to myself, I'll ask forgiveness. I won't say, "Hey, boss, can you forgive me because I thought you're a jerk." I don't. It's not that. I'll bring it inside, and ask forgiveness, that for judging, him so harshly or so unfairly. And then that just goes for him. That's for anyone that I endow with my ego's special brand of attributes, um, and um, and I ask that forgiveness for that judgment, and then I ask forgiveness also for my assumptions of their behavior and beliefs. And that's kind of what I had just talked about a little bit earlier, that who am I to judge their behavior and beliefs, you know? But, I still go around doing it. I'm still learning. I'm still in the mind training or whatever, and these are some of the things that kind of tricks or gimmicks or whatever. Just the some mind training hints to help me pay attention, to put me back on the right track of moving towards reality, towards reality of love and reality of equalness. Um, that it will eventually, I'm sure, is going to bring me peace, because I am a lot more peaceful now than I was. That is for sure. Um, and and then this work that I'm talking about of the forgiveness and the non-judgment, this is just my work and only my work to correct my vision. No matter what anyone has done to me, for me, or not done, there's no one to blame for my experience of life. You know, um, it's up to me to choose and assign the quality of each moment of my life for me. And that me, I use a capital M for the me. And that's and when I say it's my work, that is the work that is the me that I'm talking about. My work is the Christ's work. It is the Christ's work to do for me what I can't do for myself, or that my ego can't do for me. My ego can't move me into a consciousness of love. I have to give that up, and that is the work, is to whatever I can use, whatever mind training I can use, whatever I can blow the whistle, pull the covers off the ego. Holy Spirit can use that, and to you know help me get there, um, to to a more sane vision. What my goals are that I want to extend from my heart, as much as I can, and as aware where as I can. Um, I enjoy contributing to people, that are doing things, and I like to contribute self-love, self-reliance on everyone that allows me to serve them with unconditional love. And I enjoy doing a lot of things for a lot of people, but it doesn't serve me if I'm doing something to expect something in return, because for me, as I'm doing the service, I get the gift right back, because I'm in a place when it's an unconditional love. I'm in a place of peace. I'm in a place of love. I'm in a place of humility. I'm right exactly where I want to be, in a place of happiness, and I'm feeling who I really am when the giving is coming from an um, unconditional unconditional place. Um, I love being in holy relationships, and it's through the holy relationships with people, and the true companionship helps get rid of the sense of separation, and helps me prove to myself that this is just a sense of separation, by being and companioning with course students, or people that are just there to to find themselves, and not really just to find themselves, but know that they can see themselves in someone like me, and vice versa. And one of the things that I did mention, that is a very very strong motivator for me to continue to do the course work with the love and the the discipline, and to change my beliefs through the retraining, through the mind training, is I really do not want to continue attacking others in my life, or hurting others in my life, mistreating others, and hating on guiltless brothers and sisters. It is um, a daily thing where I slip sometimes, and and I do the attack thing on my innocent brothers and sisters. I really, really, do want to do that anymore. I don't want to continue doing the attacking and the hurting, even if it's just in my mind, you know. And even though I'm not engaging someone, maybe I'm thinking about it and then I start talking to the person and then I'm good. I'm all right. I'm very loving. But, you know, I'm really very, very motivated to to quit this attacking on my brothers, even though it's in my mind, you know. Um, and I and I do want my defenselessness to be my safety. I don't want to hide or keep any guilt uh, for me that I'm sending out there. Also, I want to be a transparency. Also, that'll that that'll not. I don't know about. I'm trying to say to be an example or to be the truth. To be a safe place where people know who they are and and who they are with me. And so that's basically what the message is in certain terms. I think that it's kind of a going backwards into elementary stuff because this is really elementary course teaching, and even society wise or whatever, is being prejudiced and all of that. You know what I mean? It's basic stuff. But to me, in my path, this is really an eye opener for me that it happened right now is the this awareness of what I'm really doing with my thoughts and what am I where how I'm really living. And I imagine, right now is the time for it, or else that's probably why I haven't been aware of it before. So I'm very grateful that I have this realization now. I'm grateful for this talk show that Lynn has let me have, because I really do enjoy it, because I really do get a lot out of it for myself, So I am going to turn the mic back over to Lynn, and good evening, everyone. Hope somebody got something out of this. Let's see you guys next week. Bye bye.